Welcome to the Silent Trading channel on Monday the 15th of June. Welcome to the first day trading of the week. Today we're going to be analyzing the gold chart to check and see if there are any specific price action for us to be entering a trade. But before we start, please subscribe, like, comment and share if you like this video and to support me, my trading journal. So today we'll be start by going on the 4 hours chart first to check and see if there are any bullish price action for us to enter a trade. Right, as I've said from yesterday, that if you're going to be entering a trade, we need to wait for a bullish price action either by breaking resistance, right, or breaking support before we wait or retest and then enter a position from that side, right? And as we can see on the 4 hours chart, the first candle of the 4 hour that was open at 5 a.m. in the morning on Bangkok's time, open up, right? Open up above with a gap, right? Open up above with a gap before pushing down to forming a bottom wick, or what you guys call a manipulation, and then pull back and start expanding above, attacking the 4,300 psychological resistance before being able to break and close above 4,300 psychological resistance. And then on the next candle, okay, on the next 4 hour candle, open, right, push up to attack what? Attack the 4 hour and the daily resistance, which is in alignment with each other, which means this is a key level resistance. And after attacking this key level resistance, it then bounce back, right, pull back and close a red candle, correct? And only after closing as a red candle, the next candle push down, right, push down for a manipulation, forming a bottom wick before pulling back, and then start expanding above and breaking this daily and 4 hour resistance, which is also telling us that it is forming a bullish price action. But it was already forming a bullish price action at this candle over here. It was already forming a bullish price action at this candle over here, because why? Because the chart pushed up, right? The 9 a.m. Bangkok's time candle push up to attack daily and 4 hour resistance, which is a key resistance, which also means it started triggering sell limits from this spot when this candle push up to form a top wick, correct? And this rebound is a rebound to trick sellers into believing that their position is a good one, right? And after tricking sellers into believing their position is a good one and then causing sellers to hold on to their position, the next candle push down to form a bottom wick, or what you guys call a manipulation, then pull back and then start expanding once more. And once you start expanding and attacking this resistance the second time, it push up all the way to form a new high, right, before pulling back, correct? Pulling back and then also being able to close above previous candle high wick, top wick, right? And right now, this candle at 5 p.m. right, this candle at 5 p.m. in the evening, right, in the evening, or what you call twilight, push down to form a bottom wick, or what you guys also call a manipulation, before pulling back. And right now it's trying to expand above, right? An upward expansion is impending, but we do not know if it is really going to expand or not. But we can see that this candle, right, this 5 p.m. candle has already attacked the previous candle high wick, right? And attacking the previous candle high wick means this candle has a chance of expanding further. And if it is able to expand further and also break this resistance over here, also break this high over here, and also being able to close above this high over here, this is a full-on bullish price action, which is also another reason that we will have to wait for the next candle retest and then we start buying, right? Because why? Because a bullish price action is always formed, right? A bullish or a bearish price action is always formed by a confirmation. It doesn't only form by a few simple movements that you guys believe that it will go on upwards, it will go on below. You need to wait for a real confirmation. You need to wait for the chart, for the market to accumulate volume, right? Accumulate volume, then close above that volume accumulation. right? The chart, the candle will accumulate volume at resistance, accumulating volume at support, and if it is able to close above resistance, close below support, it is showing that it is breaking support and resistance, and by breaking support and resistance, it is trying to expand further, right? Because when it attacks resistance, it is accumulating sell side volume, right? Accumulating sellers, accumulating sell position, and once accumulating enough sell position, will the chart really start expanding and breaking above, right? Because the chart, the candle doesn't usually spike for no reason unless it is a forced breakout. A forced breakout is one of the reasons for a candle spike, but if there is no reason for a candle to spike, it is impossible. Every candle spike must have a reason unless it is a forced breakout to take out liquidity, right? Sometimes it is what you call a liquidity sweep before pulling back. That is a forced breakout, right? So a spike in candle volume must also be followed by a close above resistance, closing above candle high, or closing below support and candle low before we believe that that price action is bearish or bullish, correct? But if it is only spiking up and then pulling back, and if you're usually looking at a 15 minutes time frame, the 30 minutes time frame, you're going to see a retest or a retracement and you start entering a long or a buy position, but it is actually pulling back from the higher time frame, correct? So that is the reason why I'm trading on a 4 hours chart at a minimum, because the 4 hours chart is the best confirmation if the chart is trying to close above resistance or support. Sometimes on the 15 minutes on the 30 minutes time frame, closing above support, closing above resistance, or closing below support doesn't mean it is really breaking that support and resistance, because support and resistance on the lower time frame doesn't hold much significance, correct? A support and resistance on the lower time frame doesn't hold a candle to the higher time frame support and resistance. And why am I using the 4 hour support and resistance, and at a minimum I will use the 1 hour chart support and resistance? Because the time frame that is at the middle of the lower and the higher time frame, right, at the delicate middle of the lower and higher time frame is the best time frame to look out for the best break of support, break of resistance, right? The best way to look at the accumulation of volume, the taking out of volume, right? Because a liquidity sweep may form on the 4 hours chart, but you see a break of structure or a change of character on a 15 minutes chart, and you think it is really a change of character, and you start going on the long, you start going on the short because you think it is a true change of character. But no, on a 4 hours chart it is only a forced breakout and then start pulling back, and it is what is tricking you, confusing you into opening a position and causing you to lose your capital and money, correct? So we do not enter a position if we do not find a confirmation on at least the 1 hour, the 4 hour, on the daily time frame, correct? Because as we can see on this 4 hour time frame, right, only when this candle, this 5 a.m. candle, right, 5 a.m. candle in the morning today close above the 4,300 psychological resistance, only then when the chart pulls back, right, or retrace, do we start buying. And especially it retrace after pushing up to attack resistance, which also means triggering sell limits. And if the market is triggering sell limits by attacking resistance, it is accumulating sell side volume. And by accumulating sell side volume, when it pushed down to take out buy side volume, right, we will start buying, because buy side holders are forced into closing their position on this candle manipulation. And once buyers are forced into closing their position and you start buying, and the moment this candle pulls back and then start expanding, you see a full-blown expansion over here, right? It pushed up all the way to attack this resistance over here, and then pushed all the way up to form a new high, a new high beyond this previous candle high. right? This is what you call a buy on the manipulation after a bullish price action was formed, and then take profit on the high wick, right? Buying on the low wick and taking profit on the high wick. This is what we are going to do, or this is what we have been doing, right? Buying on the low wick and selling on the high wick. But we do not buy and sell anywhere we like. We buy and sell after confirming a bullish price action, a bearish price action, and then we start buying at the candle low, and we then close at the candle high, or we start selling at the candle high and we start closing off our position at the candle low, right? Because we do know that the chart is always forming price action, but some price action are 100%, a 95% one. Some are only 60, 65, 70%. So we can choose whether to believe which price action are the best for us. We can choose to believe which will be the best price action that we should enter, that we should play out, right? If you're willing to incur more risk, you also have a chance of accumulating more profits, but that also means that you also have more chance of incurring losses, right? So right now the chart, right, has already manipulate, pull back, and then start expanding. And once this expansion is complete by closing above this resistance and this candle high, we will start waiting for the next candle retracement or manipulation before we start buying, because we buy at a candle low and we close at a candle high. Okay, but if a bearish price action start forming instead of a bullish price action being formed, you can start waiting for the next candle retracement or retest before you start selling, right? So you either wait for a close above and you start buying at this retest, right? Or you wait for a bearish price action to form by attacking support, and then you sell at the retest over here, that right? So there are only two choices to make. You choose whether you want to play out at the safest spot possible or not. Okay, so for today I'm going to be here for, that's all I'm going to be here for, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And I hope you guys get some important information from this. I hope you guys get some, I hope you guys have fun. I hope you guys can start profiting. And all of this information is what I have been accumulating from reading the chart for so long, right? It takes years to be able to understand this much of the chart, but it doesn't mean that I am a real expert at the chart, but I only managed to accumulate some experience in reading the chart and manage to understand some portion of the chart. Because if I truly understand every single thing the chart is telling me, I wouldn't be suffering any losses anymore, right? I'll only be profiting all the way up. Okay, so for today, that's all I'm going to be here for, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.